It's not just a parade. It's about representing their history, their community, their identity.
They often use powerful visuals to talk about current events or social issues or history. All right, so today we're diving into Rio's Carnival.
Okay.
And we've got this YouTube video from the Brazil show. And wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you really feel like you're right there in the middle of everything.
You really do. You get that energy just like right through the screen. It's not like a polished documentary or anything, and that makes it even better.
Right. It's all these like quick cuts and background noise, and you could just feel that heat, the excitement. And even the YouTuber, he's so funny.
Yeah.
Like there's this part where he says, nobody's bringing you coverage like this.
He's loving it.
You could tell he's like so into it.
Yeah, it's infectious. But you know what's interesting is that beyond just like the surface energy, there's actually a lot more to this video.
Oh, really?
Like he keeps talking about these samba schools.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to Carnival or seen it firsthand, you might not really get what those are all about.
You might think it's just like where you learn to samba, you know?
Right, exactly. Like
Right.
just an extracurricular.
Yeah.
But it's way more than that.
Okay.
These schools are like really woven into the whole fabric of Brazilian society, especially in their communities. The one they're showing in the video, Grêmio Recreativo Escola de Samba Unidos, the Vila Isabel, or Vila Isabel, is a great example.
Okay.
It has this long history, and it's tied to this specific neighborhood.
And it's not even just about the performance.
No.
He interviews like the daughter of the school's president.
Right.
And you see like whole families are involved.
Yeah.
It's a real commitment that goes on for generations.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the passion behind Carnival make sense. It's not just a parade. It's about representing their history, their community, their identity.
Wow.
And the competition is serious.
Oh, yeah.
Winning means a lot of prestige and pride.
I mean, it's crazy how much depth there is to something that looks like a giant party.
Right.
And speaking of culture, the YouTuber noticed this thing about Brazilians and English I thought was fascinating. Oh, yeah. He was saying that a lot of them understand English really well, but they don't like to speak it because they're worried about making mistakes.
Yeah, it's a really interesting cultural observation.
Yeah.
Politeness and humility are really big in Brazilian culture.
Okay.
And maybe some people feel better just listening and learning
Yeah.
than jumping in and maybe messing up. It challenges what we think we know.
Totally.
Yeah.
So maybe that waiter in Rio who you thought didn't understand your order actually did. Maybe he was just being polite.
Exactly. But let's get back to the parade itself.
Okay.
The Comissão de Frente, the dancers that lead the school into the parade,
Yeah.
they are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The YouTuber was blown away by their skill.
The athleticism and artistry are incredible.
Yeah. But it's not just about the moves.
Oh, what do you mean?
It's like the beginning of a play.
Okay.
The Comissão de Frente sets the stage for the whole performance.
I see.
Their movements tell a story.
Wow.
There's all this symbolism and social commentary woven in.
And then you got the floats.
Massive works of art.
Incredible.
The YouTuber was really struck by the one inspired by Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
And it got me thinking about like power and representation.
The floats aren't just random. They're very deliberate. They often use powerful visuals
Okay.
to talk about current events or social issues or history. It's another layer of storytelling.
So it's like a visual metaphor.
Exactly.
Then we meet Kofi,
Yes.
a musician who's really involved with Carnival, even though she's not from Brazil.
Right.
It's so interesting to hear her take on it.
Yeah.
She describes it as like transformative.
It's a great part of the video.
Yeah.
It goes from just watching to something way more personal and emotional.
Right.
We see Carnival through the eyes of someone who chose to be part of it.
And that feeling she talks about,
Yeah.
that connection and generosity of spirit.
It goes beyond just having fun.
Yeah. It's something deeper.
Exactly. It shows how Carnival isn't just about Brazilian culture.
It's about this human need to belong, to share experiences, to express ourselves through music and dance and joy.
It makes you think about the power of culture to bring people together.
Absolutely. And even more interesting is that Vila Isabel the Samba School Coffee is with chose to focus on powerful Black women for their theme this year.
She talks about how moved she was by the lyrics of their song and singing it with thousands of other people. It's powerful stuff.
It's a really powerful choice, especially when you think about Brazil's history.
Yeah.
and how race and inequality are still issues there. It's a statement.
This simple YouTube video has so much to it.
It really does. It's like peeling back layers of a story.
It is. And this is just one school.
Yeah, imagine all the different themes from all the schools.
Wow.
Each one with its own story reflecting something different about Brazil.
Yeah.
It shows how creative and rich the tradition of Carnival is.
It's almost too much to think about.
Right? It's amazing.
It reminds me that there's always something new to learn.
Always. And to discover.
Even about something as well known as Carnival.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what these deep dives are all about.
Yeah.
We're not just watching a parade. We're uncovering history and culture.
It's true.
And human experience.
It makes you wonder what other celebrations around the world can teach us.
Doesn't it? What other stories are out there?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how these big celebrations like Carnival even get started.
Yeah.
They don't just appear out of nowhere. They
Right.
change and grow with the times, you know?
It makes you realize how much tradition and history goes into something like this. It's not just a party. It's a living thing.
Exactly. It's like an expression of who these people are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so fascinating.
Even for those of us just watching a video.
Yeah. It's a reminder that there's always more to learn and see out there.
Totally. You know, before we started, I had this image of Carnival as just like costumes and partying.
Right.
But now I see it as so much more.
It's about community and resilience and telling stories. It's a celebration of life.
It makes you think about other celebrations around the world.
Yeah.
What do they celebrate? What are their traditions?
What kind of feelings do they bring up for the people who are there?
Exactly. There's so much to explore.
A whole world of culture.
Like, how has globalization and the internet changed Carnival?
That's a great question.
You can see the influence on the costumes, the music, even just how people outside of Brazil see it.
It raises questions about culture, you know?
Yeah.
How do you keep traditions alive when the world is changing so fast?
How do you honor the old ways but still embrace new things?
It's a conversation happening everywhere these days as the world gets smaller.
It's a good reminder that culture isn't fixed. It's always moving and changing.
Yeah. I'd love to know more about the history of these samba schools.
Me too. It sounds like they started in Afro-Brazilian communities.
Right. They came out of the favelas in Rio.
What are those?
The favelas are like the slums.
Oh, okay.
They were a place for people to come together to celebrate their heritage.
Through music and dance.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
in a way, it was a form of resistance.
You mean like resisting oppression?
Exactly. They were holding on to their culture even when others tried to take it away.
Wow.
And over time, they grew into these incredible organizations.
With all the costumes and the competition.
Right. But that sense of community that need to express themselves through music and dance, it's the heart of it all. It's amazing how something that started as a way to preserve culture could become this huge global event.
It's power art, I guess.
And of people coming together.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you think about how these celebrations become part of a country's identity.
So Carnival is more than just a festival for Brazilians.
Yeah, it's part of who they are.
It shows their resilience,
Their creativity.
their spirit.
Exactly. It's like they're sharing their culture with the whole world.
And those moments in the video when you see people just so happy,
Dancing and singing.
it's even more powerful now.
You can feel the pride and the passion.
That sense of belonging.
It's powerful. I wonder if other big events are like that.
Like Mardi Gras or Holi.
That's a good question. There are definitely similarities.
They all seem to offer this release.
A chance to let go.
To connect with something bigger than yourself.
There's something really powerful about that.
Being part of a community.
Celebrating together.
Grieving together.
Expressing those shared emotions.
It goes beyond culture.
We all need that connection.
That feeling of belonging.
And these celebrations give us a way to experience that.
What is it about these events that makes us feel so connected?
I think it's a lot of things.
The music, maybe.
The movement,
Doofens.
being surrounded by people who feel the same way you do.
And the meaning of the event itself.
Yeah.
The history, the symbolism. It all resonates with us.
It's like they create a different reality.
Where normal rules don't apply.
You can express yourself more freely,
Explore who you are.
connect with your roots,
Find that sense of belonging.
which can be hard to find in everyday life. It's fascinating how these events can be both personal and collective at the same time.
Right. It's like this balance.
Individual expression within a shared identity.
And these celebrations seem to get that balance just right.
They do. This deep dive has really made me see cultural celebrations in a new light.
Me too. It's not just about the spectacle.
It's the stories, the connections, the meaning.
Exactly. And we've only just scratched the surface.
There are so many other celebrations out there,
each with its own unique story.
So think about a cultural celebration that you're interested in.
Maybe you've been there yourself.
Or maybe you've just read about it.
What makes it interesting to you? What questions do you have?
And don't just think about it.
Do some research. Watch videos. Maybe even go experience it in person.
You never know what you'll discover.
You might even find a new passion.
Or a deeper connection to the world.
It's all about being open to new experiences.
To different ways of seeing things.
Sometimes the most amazing discoveries come from the things that seem the strangest at first.
Absolutely. It's about celebrating the beauty of human diversity.
And remembering that there's always more to learn.
More to understand.
More ways to connect with the world around us. Wow. I can't believe how much we got out of that one YouTube video about Carnival.
Right.
It really shows you that you can find hidden meanings and insights anywhere.
You really can. It all comes down to being curious and wanting to keep learning new things.
Like being an explorer in everyday life.
Exactly.
Uncovering these hidden stories.
And connecting with the world.
It starts with just a little spark of interest.
Yeah, that willingness to look a little closer.
To go a bit deeper and see what's there.
Who knows? Maybe this deep dive has got you curious about other cultural things.
Maybe you want to learn more about samba music.
Or how carnival costumes have changed over time.
Maybe you'll even plan a trip to Rio to see it all for yourself.
Even if you don't go to Rio, there are tons of ways to experience other cultures.
Right here where we are.
Go to a festival.
Visit a museum.
Try some new food.
Talk to someone from a different background.
It's all about opening yourself up.
To new experiences.
New ways of seeing things.
Sometimes the most amazing things are the ones that seem the most foreign to us at first.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's about appreciating all the different ways people live and think.
And realizing that we always have more to learn.
More to understand.
More ways to connect with the world.
This deep dive has been a great reminder of that.
Even with all the partying and excitement.
Carnival shows us something much deeper.
Yeah. It's like a window into a culture's soul.
You see their history, their struggles, their joys.
It's a celebration of life in all its messy glory.
It shows the power of the human spirit.
The resilience.
The creativity.
It makes you want to see and learn more.
So keep that curiosity alive.
Keep asking questions.
Keep exploring the world around you.
You never know what you might find.
There are amazing stories everywhere.
And we'll be here to help you figure them out.
One deep dive at a time.
Until next time. Happy exploring.
This is Brazil.